fraction. And a perfect start for the Bison. After forcing the 3 and out, Sam, they'll get the football at midfield, and clearly Williams unable to try to catch that cleanly. Wise to not try to attempt it.
Well, correct, and unwise from Roble to interfere with the catch by Williams. That's a penalty that gets you the ball at midfield.
Cam Miller on the field, and the first snap on the toss. Penu takes it into Mercer territory, and a gain of 7. Barika Penu gets the start. Marty Brown, the electric freshman running back, has been battling a little bit of a toe injury and not on the field just yet.
Correct. And Roy, I was on the field before talking with one of the defensive coaches, Carlton Littlejohn. He said, man, the thing about our offense for North Dakota State is we will take our time. So some of these 8- and 9-yard runs are going to allow Cam Miller to take his time as he passes it.
Great conversation yesterday with Cam Miller. His legacy, all the games they've won. This is his 52nd consecutive start today. Carries it along the left side. That's enough to move the chains. And he said this team, he feels like, Sam, is even closer than the team that won it all 3 years ago.
He does, but he also wants to get back to that time of 3 years ago. We asked him what his favorite memory is in his time here. He said, man, it was winning that championship in 2021. And so they're willing to do whatever it takes to get back there.
TK Marshall in at running back. Spotted from the 38 on the jet sweep to Jackson Williams. Now the plan is to try to get 81 in green and gold more involved today. He's going to lose a yard. Chris Jones, Isaac Dowling combined to make the tackle.
Yeah, that was a great job by Isaac Dowling, just flowing to the football. Think about it. Some of these jet sweeps, speed sweeps, side-to-side plays, it's meant to trap the linebacker on the inside. And as you see, number 3, Isaac Dowling, doesn't get stuck on the inside. He actually makes the play over top.
Miller wants to throw it. Off the pump fake, heaves one deep. Has Lance. Nice Lance. Catches it cleanly for the touchdown. From 40 yards out, it looked like the tap dance was right there in front of the pylon. 50 yards in just 4 plays. An impressive start for the home team.
Yeah, the tap dance is important, but control is also more important. You have to maintain firm control as you go to the ground, and it looks as if Bryce Lance does. Younger brother of Trey Lance, wearing the same number as traded at NDSU. Unbelievable play.
Griffin Crosa on for the point after, just like that, 7-0. Less than 3 minutes in, Bison, a fast start.
Talk about establishing momentum early. You were at home. You're playing against an opponent you believe is inferior to you. You have bigger goals in mind, and that's defense leading to offense.
And we talked with Grant Olson yesterday, defensive play caller for North Dakota State. Tim Polasek, the head coach in his first season here in Fargo, coming back home, if you will. Slow starts have been an issue at times, especially the last 2 weeks. And a week ago against Abilene Christian, they trailed 14-3. We're trying to find a way to press the right button to start faster. Whatever it was that happened pregame seems to have worked.
Correct. And one of the things they mentioned is they said they wanted to start on defense early. Meaning, hey, we don't want to kick off and start on our offensive side of the ball. Let's start on defense. Let the guys get a little bit of juice. There's something about, like, not waiting on the bench. No, get the juice and get the momentum. So great job early on with momentum for North Dakota State.
Five yards deep and the touchback. Tim Polasek, year number 1 in Fargo. He was mic'd up pregame for us.
What do you say, Kumas? We get to play well. Starts on special teams. It starts on special forces now. We gotta go. Get on it. Square it up. Elbows tight now. Let's go here, boys.
Special teams, special forces, that's a coach we can get behind with that kind of conversation. Dwayne McGee, his first carry with a crease, and McGee, SoCon Offensive Player of the Year. picks up 7, the first positive game for the Bears.
Yeah. Talk a lot about staying on schedule, so that's just going forward. Even if it's 2, 3, or maybe in this position 7 yards, gets you in a more comfortable position as an offense.
Needless to say, an important possession for underdog Mercer on the road. Bison poured it on last week in the comeback against Abilene Christian. 51-31 the final. DJ Smith on the field, and the backup quarterback nets a yard. He was the starter back in game 1, and injury forced him out. Neubauer took over. And we welcome those who've been watching on ABC after Jackson State's victory just moments ago, ending in Atlanta. Samacho, Roy Philpott, Lauren Sisler in the Fargodome. Quarterfinal action of the FCS championship, and the Mercer Bears, the SoCon champions, facing 3rd and 2, trailing 7-0. On the screen and well short, nowhere close to the line to gain. It's Braden Smith saying he's going to lose 3, and after the initial first down, the Bison defense stands tall with Jalen Crumby making the stop.
Correct, and you're right, Roy. The Bison defense did stand tall, but I expect Mercer to go back to that play. Why? Because if Braden Smith catches that ball in front of him, not only is it a first down, that could have likely been a touchdown. And so I expect, maybe not the next series, but expect speed and space for Mercer, not to try and run it up the middle, but go on the outsides.
I love that you're always looking ahead. Mike Jacobs, the head coach at Mercer, certainly too. That snap rolled back to John McConnell, did a nice job to corral it. And Jackson Williams muffed the punt, hopped on top of it. And a punt of 42-0 on the return. NCAA FCS champion will be crowned January 6th on ESPN at 7 o'clock Eastern in Frisco. The winner of this game today gets South Dakota State, not only defending national champion from last year, Mark Gronowski and company. The Jackrabbits won it 2 years ago as well. In Montana State, the #1 overall seed, a convincing win last night against Idaho.
And Mark Gronowski has been outstanding this season. Even the game before this had another great game. So they're watching this, trying to see what happens next.
Quick toss by Miller. Here come the Bison. Off and running is Makai Collins. Collins towards the front pylon. It'll be first down and goal for NDSU at the 4 after a gain of 70.
Sometimes it doesn't take much. It takes you doing the fundamentals and the little things. It's a simple slant pattern, but Collins not only splits the defense in half, but he makes people miss and gets nearly to the end zone. Little things done well make big things happen. Little thing, perfect pass, splitting a defense in half.
Miller, end zone, back shoulder. Hauled in for the touchdown. Bryce Lance, his second score in the first 5.5 minutes today. It is all Bison early. The younger brother of Trey Lance, a former first-round draft pick, reaches pay dirt again. Perfect start for Cam Miller and for Bryce Lance, making a statement in the Dome. Crosa's extra point up. 14-0.
They talk a lot about the maturity, Roy, of Bryce Lance and how he's grown this season. He has an opportunity. He makes the big plays, makes the little plays, does the little things well. 14-0.
Bryce Lance, number 5 in green and gold, came into this game today with 11 touchdowns on the season. 5.5 minutes in, make it 13. A fast start for the home team, the Bison, the #2 seed.
This is exactly what you want when you are not only in the playoffs, but when you have a potential trap game. Think about it. I understand playoffs, trap game, but they're eyeing South Dakota State. They want that game again. And so how do you get to the next game? By taking care of the business right in front of you. And sometimes it just takes individuals. Bryce Lance, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 44 yards, and all of a sudden the entire team feeds off of it. Braden
Smith, 5 yards deep, is going to run it out. get across the 25 to the 27. Well, you think about the Lance family and the bloodlines. Well, they are impressive. You go back to Carlton Lance, defensive back at Southwest Minnesota State. Late 80s, early 90s, played in the Canadian Football League and as well in the World League of Football. Trey Lance, of course, the first-round draft pick currently with the Dallas Cowboys. And then his younger brother, Bryce, taking over not as a quarterback, but as a wide receiver in Fargo. Really didn't utilize him much last season. He has emerged this campaign, and he has taken over Missouri Valley Football Conference football. And a 5-yard pickup stopped by Kubitz. C.J. Miller gets a touch. There's Carlton, dad in attendance. You know he's got a sense of pride, not only for Bryce, but for what Trey has been able to do when he was here, what he's trying to do still in the National Football League.
Think about the legacy, not only the pride, but the legacy of the Lance family here at North Dakota State. Trey obviously in the NFL, then Bryce making a name for himself for the Bison.
Freshman quarterback Whit Neubauer. 6'6" will take off and slide in close to the line to gain. The helmet comes off. Rule him down at the 35. It'll be 3rd and 2 from there. Cody Heisman with the tackle after a gain of just 3.
So nothing's open downfield. And so what does true freshman Whit Neubauer do? He decides to take off and slide. Now, I don't think that's too late of a hit. Of course, as soon as he starts to slide, the play is over. But to me, that contact seemed incidental, not worthy of a penalty.
DJ Smith comes in after Neubauer checks out because he lost the helmet. By rule, the backup on the field. Smith, the game 1 starter down in Macon with the Mercer Bears this season. Hand off to Miller, picks up the first down and a lot more. C.J. Miller into NDSU territory. Lassoed from behind after a gain of 27. And the Bears on the move after 3rd and short.
And we talk about no edge, no chance. And what you see right here, you look at number 4, at safety, Jalen Crumby is going to not set the edge on the defense. And so if there's no edge, you have no chance. That's why you see that big-time game. So Crumby has to set that edge.
Play action. Smith remains on the field, and the screen to Roble is broken up. He caught it. He'll lose a yard. Duffy, the TFL.
And that's what I mean, Roy, talking about setting an edge. Like those are two opposites, right? One is the great end of the spectrum, one is the bad end. This is the great end you're about to see. You're going to see Jalen Crumby, number 17, on the edge of the defense, the outside. No one can get outside of you, so you make that tackle. On the play before, we saw and essentially no edge. So that's what we're seeing. So that last play, Jalen Duffy, the play before on the missed tackle, that was Crumby.
Neubauer back on the field. Off of play action. Floats one deep. Man-to-man coverage. End zone and touchdown. Parsons corralled it from 38 yards out, and Mercer right back in this one. Kellen Parsons, 5th touchdown of the season. What a response by the SoCon champs.
And what a play call as well. I go back to just the run game early, and then that run game leads to the pass game. Play action, the eyes of the defensive backs are looking in the backfield of the quarterback, and then the defense, all of a sudden, you don't want anyone behind you. When your eyes are in the backfield, people running by you, that's how you give up 6.
Reese Griffith on for the point after. And a 1-possession game. North Dakota State going to get it back when we come back. And Kellen Parsons, a transfer from Lenore Ryan, getting it done on the beautiful toss.
Now we talk about having good eyes or bad eyes. Good eyes keep everything in front of you. Bad eyes give up points.
Execution, physicality. We talked about it all week. Believe it, buy into it, execute, play your ass off. Let's go do what they said we couldn't. Here we go.
Head coach Mike Jacobs, the former walk-on long snapper at Ohio State, warned us earlier this week if we mic him up pregame, he's worried about what he could say that would make the air. I thought that was relatively clean. And Mercer, his team, more importantly, clean start after what happened in those first 2 possessions, or at least a clean response, Sam.
Yeah, they started messy, but it has cleaned up extremely well, especially with that last offensive series. Mike Jacobs knows what it's like to win. played at Ohio State, played under Jim Tressel. He understands what it takes. And so he's doing some of the requirements. You saw it. Let's do the run game. That's going to lead to the pass game. Let's not try to force anything. Let's calm the guys down and let them know we got this.
Jackson Williams, one of the return men for North Dakota State, and a big kick return last week. Boy, he shows you that gear and that burst. Across the 35, a stutter step and a nifty move, as Williams gives NDSU good field position. Now the Bison electric on offense. Less than 10 plays, 2 touchdowns, both coming to Bryce Lance. And Cam Miller, perfect start. And take a look at the numbers so far. Less than 7 to go in the first quarter. Sam, we got a game.
We do, and what it seems to me as far as the game plan is that North Dakota State, they think they can do anything in the air. Short pass, deep pass, it doesn't matter. Mercer needs to get some negative plays if they want to change this game.
Penny on the counter, across the 40. Tumbles down to the 43, a gain of 5.
And the reason I say that, Roy, is that sometimes, like, momentum is a real thing. And so North Dakota State, they're not looking at the score. They're saying, okay, we had a slant that went 50. We had a deep touchdown. We had another touchdown that seemed easy. Our running game is working. So somebody on the Mercer defense has to be able to change the math, get it into 3rd and long, 3rd and pass, 3rd and obvious, if they want to get this game back in their favor.
It's the #1 run defense the FCS ranks this season. Secondary has turned people over all year long. TK Marshall brought down from behind. Andrew Zock, the SoCon freshman of the year, playing up front for the Bears defensive line. And it's 3rd down for the Bison.
Yeah, big time play by Zock. But it's not just Zock, it's this entire defense. They are the #1 defense in the FCS when it comes to taking the ball away. And so you're seeing a lot of gash plays, but one turnover can change everything.
Marika Penu back on the field at running back. We've yet to see Marty Brown. First 3rd down chance. The Bears to get a stop in this game. Won't happen here. On the hitch at midfield, Rajah Nelson. One of the veteran leaders for NDSU. Good friend of Cam Miller. It was Rajah, Braylon Henderson, and Cam Miller that have taken spring break trips down to Florida and various parts around the country.
And there's a good amount of trust. You talked about it. It's just a simple RPO play. RPO, the safety comes down, so you go to your receiver. That's Rajah. You talk about it being best friends. They have a lot of trust and confidence built together. And
we mentioned no Marty Brown. That changes here. Jamar Brown, Jerry Rice Award winner, top freshman in America, lowers the head. And that was against Thomas. Into plus territory. So good to see Marty Brown on the field, and certainly that could provide ramifications if North Dakota State wins this game next week in the semis. A long ways to go. It'll be 2nd down.
And it's a balance, right? So Marty Brown is one of their stars on the offense, but he's dealing with a toe injury. That's why you haven't seen him so often in this game. And so what's the balance? Do I put him in more and maybe injure that toe more? Do I try to save him? Can Penu do enough? Those are the questions that the coaches are trying to answer as this game goes on.
How hard is it to play football with a toe injury? The big toe, all the toes, they mean a lot. You got to plant, cut, and explode. Brown will try it here. He'll pick up a 1st down in reverse. TJ Moore the tackle, 1st and 10 for the Bison.
Roy, it's hard to walk with a toe injury. I've had turf toe before, and it's one of the most painful injuries that you could have. So imagine not just walking or running, but pushing off and exploding and accepting contact. Marty Brown is showing off his toughness to the world.
You're making my toes hurt. My toes are healthy.
Hey, don't get turf toe. That's all I'm saying. It's the worst.
How do you get turf toe?
You know what? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV.
TK Marshall motions out on 1st and 10. Out pattern is there. And Braylon Henderson a grab. Well, North Dakota State spreading the wealth. Cam Miller, our conversations with him yesterday, he was under control then, talking about emotional topics with his father, Kevin, his former coach in Iowa in high school. But it felt like he was in control of the room with our entire crew. There's a calmness about him that comes with playing 60-something games of college football.
I love the word you use at the end, the calmness. And that's what I felt and experienced when talking with Camden Miller. Maybe Camden Miller. He just has this sense about him that he's in complete control.
Rashad Nelson wants to throw it, and he will. Man-to-man coverage, and incomplete. Chris Harris, the receiver, is open for a second, maybe some contact. No penalty marker comes in. It was Miller in coverage.
So this is a double pass. Rashad Nelson takes the reverse and attempts to pass it. It's not open. Unbelievable coverage by Danesis Miller. I believe that Nelson's taught, hey, just throw it regardless because you want to trust your receiver. But unbelievable defense by Miller, staying as deep as the deepest receiver.
Bison have scored on both of their possessions previous to this one. Miller's going to keep it on third down. Miller weaving through traffic. Be 1st and 10 for NDSU. Andrew Zaka tackle. Lauren?
Guys, talking about Miller and his dad, Kevin, you know, it's an interesting football coach, a football field, watching his dad, Kevin, throughout high school, eventually his coach. And sometimes football would make its way home. Lots of bickering, emotions were high, so Mom jumped in and said, no more. We're going to talk no more X's and O's. It's about the emotional stuff. It's going to be about life. And it's really been good for the two of them to soak up the journey. Cam's been on this journey throughout college, and their relationship has really grown and blossomed throughout.
Yeah, Lauren, he nearly won a high school state championship. Came up just short, won the national title here, but he mentioned to us relationship with Kevin, his father, changed. Final year in high school in the prep ranks, and then now this season.
False start, number 63 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. There remains first down.
So Trent Fraley, Marshall transfer, backs the Bison up 5. And that relationship shifting. Dad takes a step back. Allows son to enjoy the moment in his final year of college football, just as we talked about in high school.
It can be hard. I mean, I got kids. They're not playing, well, I got a 10-year-old playing football, but they're not playing at this level yet. And it can be hard to let go. But sometimes that freedom is necessary.
After the penalty, Miller, front pylon again, nearly intercepted. Miller, Danesis Miller, had the man-to-man coverage moments ago on the trick play. Was right on top of Chris Harris here. There was double coverage that direction.
This is the second drop pick that we've seen. Danesis Miller plays this play to perfection. I don't think it's a good throw by Cam Miller. Danesis Miller, let's define them, undercuts the route and has a chance to intercept this ball. Beautiful, beautiful coverage. That's the first part. The second part is to finish. So you did the first part right. Watch film, knew what play was going to come. You undercut the route. Now finish it with a pick.
Wasn't ready for you to define Miller's that early, but we did. Brown against the grain, back to the original line of scrimmage. The 10th play of the drive. That was Miller's first incompletion, by the way.
Which Miller? Because there's a,
Let me define that for you. That would be Cam.
So, Roy, what I'm seeing now from Camden Miller in this offense is almost like this chess match. We want to go deep. We've been successful early. There have been some negative plays. And so you're thinking, okay, do I run the ball more? Do I try and attack what I think is the weakness of Mercer? So that's the game that's being played as we're trying to figure out early on how it's going to go.
Balance has been, perfect. On third down, Miller. Was it intercepted and corralled cleanly? I believe it was. Picked off. Miles Redding. His 8th interception of the season. Mike Jacobs told us he is our eye in the sky. That's the reason why when you have 8 picks in a season.
Well, it went from the quarterback on the offense to what Mercer considers the quarterback of the defense. Miles Redding, 8 picks on the year, reading the quarterback's eyes, undercuts the route, and does an unbelievable job of getting his team back in the game.
Kevin and Roddy in studio. UC Davis pulled to within a score of South Dakota. Miles Hastings to Mateo Perez.
Been able to overcome a couple of interceptions and are hanging around in this game, making it close.
Over on ESPN Plus, Roy and Sam, it's 21-14.
Okay, gentlemen, happy holidays. Great to hear from you. A close game so far in the Fargodome. Mercer in comeback mode after the turnover, and now 32 takeaways this year to pace FCS. Miles Redding, interception number 8. Bears will get it back with DJ Smith on the field to begin this series. Smith, the better athlete, to the 15. They'll mark him down 1 yard shy at the 14. So we've seen a quarterback carousel of sorts, and we expected that. And sometimes maybe we'll see both signal callers on the field at the same time. Neubauer trots back in here.
And here's the thing. When a defense sees this two-quarterback system, their mindset shifts. When Neubauer's in, you know he's there to pass it and hand it off. When it's Smith, it's more quarterback run.
5 wide, you think this is a pass. And it is. Dropped by Smith. Braden Smith dropped it near the 20. It's a Mercer team that has played outstanding complementary football this year. Defense has been on point. The offense has done just enough with multiple quarterbacks. Now facing 3rd and 8.
You can start to hear and feel this place get a little bit loud. The crowd hasn't been involved too much so far, but this is when that home field advantage comes into play.
Four-man pressure on 3rd down. Neubauer just kind of flipped it short of the 20. That'll be stopped short of the line to gain. Albee able to corral that one. And it'll be 4th down and what should be the final play of our first quarter. 14-7, the true freshman quarterback on the road in the Fargodome, the first ever meeting between Mercer and NDSU. And a touchdown advantage for the home team. 14-7 our score. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Coach, buy-in and execution were the key themes you shared with your team before this football game. What are you seeing from them through the first quarter?
Yeah, I thought we did some good things offensively. We just got to continue to finish. We've been close on a couple of them. Obviously hit the big pass play for the touchdown and ran the ball effectively on that drive. Defensively, we were in decent shape on the one ball. We got to finish on the play, and then we got to tackle. A missed tackle, and it was 2 big plays. But, hey, we're 1 score down. We're in this thing. Our kids are playing hard. We're in good shape right now.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Roy?
Lauren, thank you. The son of a head coach, grew up around Don Nehlen, and his influences have been numerous. He has not skipped steps to make it to the FCS ranks. Former head man at Lenoir-Rhyne, then at Notre Dame of Ohio. Connell gets it away under pressure. Fair catch made by Williams after punt of just 36. That's the most wonderful time of the year, and it rolls on tonight. IS4S salute the Veterans Bowl, South Alabama, Western Michigan, 9 Eastern, over on ESPN. Coming to you from Montgomery, Alabama, and historic Crampton Bowl. For the FCS playoffs, the quarterfinal round, the winner of this game will get South Dakota State, defending national champions 2 times in a row, next week. Sam Acho, Roy Philpott, and Lauren Sisler on hand in Fargo. If North Dakota State wins, it'll be a home game and a rematch of the Dakota Marker rivalry game. Handoff goes nowhere to Marty Brown. It'll be 2nd and 10. I'm told if it is a rematch between the Jacks and the Bison, this place will be bursting at the seams for a semifinal game and a chance to go to Frisco in the championship.
2 programs, if that ends up happening, that don't like each other, that have a lot of pride. They got to get through Mercer first.
Bears putting up a challenge. It's a heavy underdog on the road. 2nd down, quick strike, and it goes to Lance, his 3rd catch. It'll be 3rd down. Dane says Miller been active so far to start. Chopped him down. 3rd and a long 3, maybe 4.
And it seems as if this Mercer defense has calmed down just a bit. We saw the 2 early plays, but it seems as if they're getting their feet under them. Sometimes you get into an environment like this and an atmosphere like this in the playoffs, you're maybe not used to it, and you get a little excited. It seems as if they're saying, hey, trust the game plan. You've seen it all on tape before.
Lance will shift. 3rd down and 4. Clean pocket for Miller. Rears back and an accurate strike to Harris. A chain mover for the Bison. Gain of 10 yards on 3rd and 4.
Yeah, that was a great route. Essentially a crossing route, a drag route across the middle. So when you're in man-to-man defense, it's easier to cover this. In zone, if your eyes are on the quarterback, if you don't communicate, that ball's going to go right by you. And so you saw Ken Stanley, number 15, inside linebacker. His eyes are in the backfield. Someone's got to communicate to him and say, crosser, crosser, crosser. so he can catch the crosser across the field and not be so wide open.
Cam Miller, an accurate start, 8 of 10 passing, 2 touchdowns, both to Bryce Lance. Continuing the legacy of NDSU quarterbacks. Marty Brown tumbles across the 45, checking the 35. And a good gain for the Bison, a little extracurricular activity. It'll be second and medium. We think back to the Bison quarterbacks. Carson Wentz, Easton Stick, both still playing the National Football League. Trey Lance, the former first-round pick. The 49ers now with the Cowboys. Cam Miller, the numbers he's put up within range of what they were able to accomplish, the one national championship. And his eyes are on the next level. Under pressure, and a contested grab wasn't made. We'll rule it incomplete. Terhart, the intended receiver. And the coverage right on top of him. It was Miles Redding. He's been all over the field first 17, 18 minutes of this game.
Greg, that was a beautiful pass by Cam Miller, and to me, I thought that he caught it. The referee said that it was incomplete and that it hit the ground.
Stainsis Miller. That came over late.
It still looked like a catch to my eyes. Great coverage by Miller, all over Terhart.
Bison will snap it. No review. There goes Miller. No review needed. Cam Miller for the touchdown. He does it through the air. He does it on the ground. He's done it before. He'll do it again.
And he's asking for it. That's the thing. Like, he's done it, but now he's asking for it. He went to his coaches and said, Coach, I get it. There's injuries. I get it. You want me to stay healthy, but I want to win. Watch him lead his blockers down to the end zone. He's accepting contact. He knows he's going to get hit, but he's willing to do whatever it takes to get to the end zone.
Penalty marker came in late. Kelly Holman, our referee, talking Mercer sideline. And boy, Miller able to come just inside the front pylon. Redding and Stanley tried to stop him, couldn't do it.
Touchdown is good. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 19 of the offense, his first of the game. A 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
It's a better field position for Mercer. When the Bears get the football back, it was Chris Harris called for the penalty, and we'll check in with Matt Austin, our rules expert. And Matt, it felt like Cam Miller was able to cross the goal line. What did you see from your perspective, as the extra point is good?
Yeah, I think it was definitely a touchdown. He never went out of bounds. His knee hit the pylon. He gets goal line extended because he never stepped out of bounds. So, yes, this was a good touchdown call.
Cam Miller gets it done. Shoved out of bounds, but he crossed the plane first, and it's 21-7 NDSU. (21-7) NDSU leading Mercer. It was a chilly -9 when we landed back on Thursday night. 52 straight hours as temperatures were less than 0. The ice skating taking place in Fargo, as you would expect this time of year, and Cam Miller taking place inside the Fargodome. Another big gainer. 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown run here at the Dome. Braden Smith back deep to receive. Ensuing kickoff. The 16, Smith. On the move, Braden Smith tripped up at the 49. A return of 35, and Mercer with outstanding field position, thanks in part to that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And the Bears will take over, trailing by 14. And we mentioned Cam Miller, Lauren. He's got a chance to play at the next level.
Yeah, and of course I asked him, I said, what's life after football look like? He said, I'm going to the NFL. You know, my dad always said, never have a backup plan or your mind isn't in the right place. And Kevin said he encouraged Cam to chase his dreams, pursue what he's passionate about, knowing he'd have his family's full support. So when football ends, his dad feels confident he can contribute there. But for now, he's laser focused. His 100% goal of playing in the NFL as a quarterback.
Second carry for Dwayne McGee, the SoCon Offensive Player of the Year. Picks up a couple. It'll be second down. You got to think number 3 needs more touches to try to find a rhythm and a groove here.
Absolutely, but it's not just touches to help have him find a groove. Get him touches so the defense can focus on number 3, and then you can throw it behind their heads like you saw last series.
McGee again over the right side. McGee is first big gainer. It's enough for a Mercer first down. 10-yard pickup. And the drive for the Bears starting near midfield. A couple of touches for McGee and an early first down.
Correct. Dwayne McGee is 5'8", 180, so he's not the biggest guy, so we can find little holes, right? You see him cut back and accept the contact, actually avoid the contact because of his size and his vision. Dwayne McGee can help get this offense started, but he's not going to be the way they finish. It's got to finish through the air.
There's Gibbons to tackle. Delayed handoff this time to McGee. Stumbles down after a 1-yard gain. Kubitz a tackle. It's interesting. We asked Grant Olson, okay, a freshman quarterback you're facing, a 5'8" running back you're facing. What's the mentality? He says, well, number one, we don't care that he's 5'8". On film, he plays much larger than that. We got to find a way to gang tackle him with our front seven. If we don't, he's going to make us pay.
And they said he has a little bit of that Barry Sanders in him, meaning he'll start one way, he'll lose 3-4 yards and go the other way. So edges will be important.
Saw Kubitz with that last stop. Neubauer incomplete. And the pocket was collapsing. Neubauer hit the turf. Keenan Wilson able to break through and disrupted the rhythm of that pass.
Great job by number 58, Keenan Wilson. 6'1", 284, redshirt freshman. He has a motor. He starts on the inside, loops around, and then gets towards the quarterback. So great job by Wilson getting pressure on the QB.
Big play for the Bears on third down. Neubauer. Out pattern goes to Smith. Short of the line to gain. And they're going to say it is incomplete. Didn't catch it cleanly, so fourth down and long. He got about half the yardage he needed there. If you're Mike Jacobs, what do you do?
Well, you have to go for it this position. You're down by 2 scores. You have a little bit of momentum. You're in close to midfield, so it's definitely worth going for it to try and stay in the game.
That's a big call on the incomplete pass. Mike Jacobs giving this veteran officiating crew an earful. I thought he caught it cleanly to begin with. The question is, did he complete the act of the catch? Not sure we saw anything there that indicates it should have been ruled incomplete.
Correct. As I'm looking at these replays, that ball did not look like it hit the ground, so that's a completed pass. What's more important than just the completion is the yardage. You go from 4th and 10 to maybe 4th and 4, which if you're going to go for it, those 6 yards make all the difference. So I think that number one is a catch and a clean catch. But more than anything, it leads to the next play of 4th and manageable.
Our rules expert, Matt Austin. Matt, from our vantage point, it looked like a reception. What did you see?
Roy, I agree with you and Sam. I don't think the ball ever touched the ground. Looked like he had it about 6 inches off the ground. Caught it firmly with both hands. Definitely was in bounds. I think this will be overturned to a completed pass.
I love it when Matt and I and you, we all agree. It's like a harmonious call right there. That's a good feeling.
I don't. I like disagreements sometimes,
I know you
man.
do. I know.
They all got to be on the same page. Let's have some controversy. But that one, there was no controversy.
That was a clean catch in Macon, in Fargo, anywhere in the Missouri Valley Football Conference or the SoCon. He's telling him that. You see the hand in the circle? It comes down from the NBA. you know they need to take a look
and
at
those are sometimes my favorite things is, as a player is, hey, coach, I don't care what anybody referee, I know I caught that ball. So, coach, I need you to go ahead and replay this for me.
What happens in the film room if you're wrong?
After reviewing the play, the catch was a completed catch. The runner went out at the 36-yard line. It's 4th down. The game clock is correct.
Much easier on 4th down here compared to if the pass was ruled incomplete. Replay overturns the original call. Instead of 4th and 9, it's 4th and 5.
And it's easier because it gives you options. I don't say you do run the ball, but at 4th and 5, the defense has in their mind they may run the ball. As a pass rusher, you're thinking, okay, I got to get to the QB, but now it's not just deep passes available, it's ones across the middle.
Bears 7 of 12 on 4th this season. Neubauer, pocket collapses. He escapes for a moment. Brought down all the way back at the 49. It was Logan Kopp, the unquestioned leader of the Bison defense. A loss of 14 on 4th and 5.
And one thing we heard from Grant Olson, the defensive coordinator, about Kopp is he's incredibly smart, but he's also an incredibly good football player. All-out pressure, nothing's available. Whit Neubauer tries to escape, but he can't because Logan Kopp says, I will keep you arrested.
.941 to go in our first half here in the FCS Championship quarterfinal. 21-7, NDSU leading Mercer. Don't forget, coming up tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, ESPN also on the app. 90th annual Heisman Trophy ceremony. Finalists are Oregon's Dylan Gabriel, Travis Hunter of Colorado, Ashton Jeanty at Boise State, Miami's Cam Ward. Chris Fowler hosts again for the 31st straight year. And Travis Hunter, of course, began his football career at the FCS level with Jackson State. Cam Ward, same scenario at Incarnate Word down in San Antonio, Texas. We're talking about a time where you've got pickup trucks parked inside the stadium behind Cam Ward. Much bigger stage. First at Washington State and now with the Miami Hurricanes.
Talk about the opportunity. We talk about people going from school to school or transferring, going from the FCS level to get an opportunity to...
Snap infraction, number 63 of the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Second penalty on Trent Fraley.
Yeah, not just to go to the FBS level, but now you're in the Heisman Trophy conversation.
He's got a truck back there. There's a truck behind him in the football game. Now Cam Ward playing down in sunny South Beach. And in the bowl game he's going to play. He's not opting out the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I'm guessing they didn't have pickup trucks parked DKR when you played in Texas back in the day, did they?
You never know. That could have been an Incarnate Word NIL deal, right, with the truck company. You never know.
Isaac Dowling makes the tackle. And after the penalty, 2nd down and long, Penu lost 4.
And now, Roy, just transitioning a little bit. So Mercer's down by a few scores, giving up some big plays. How do you get back into the game? Well, one way is penalties by them and also good plays by you. Now you're at 2nd and nearly 20 yards. If you can change the field position, get another negative play, force an interception, it'll give you an opportunity.
Yeah, Miles Redding already the 1 pick. Marty Brown to the edge. And against the grain, a lasso stop by Miller. So Danesis Miller everywhere here in the Dome in the first half, forcing 3rd down and long and a big play coming up for the Bears defensively.
And that's a huge tackle by Miller. That play is designed to force the cornerbacks to tackle because offenses think that corners can't or don't want to tackle. Danesis Miller said, you need to think again. I'm going to get you in 3rd and 16 and now force you to pass it.
NDSU 4-5 on 3rd down thus far. It's so quiet in the Dome when NDSU's on offense, you can hear a pin drop. 5-man pressure, off the twist, there it goes, and down goes Cam Miller. Braden Manley, the SoCon Defensive Player of the Year. Keeps piling on to the sack total, now at 9.5 on the season, numeral 0, making his presence felt.
And this one made me smile. This one made me not laugh, but smile. Check out Braden Manley right on the edge. He's going to come inside, but he's going to hit you with a spin move. And the great thing about this spin move is that back arm, they call it an ice pick. It's how you get around an offensive lineman. Use your elbow to pin him in. And so Braden Manley, Conference Defensive Player of the Year, is showing why.
Steindorf bumped down and is grabbing both knees after the fair catch was made by Braden Smith. And a punt of 35, and let's check this penalty. it's the 15-yard variety. We're talking about a first down. If not, well, you wait the word. Kelly Holman.
Running into the kicker, number 37
It's a big call.
of the receiving team. That penalty is declined. First down.
It's a benefit, right? You think about it. If you're Mercer, running into just a 5-yard variety versus roughing. If it's roughing the kicker, that means you're getting into his plant leg. This is not roughing. It's that off leg, running into the kicker, 5-yard penalty. So it's a benefit to Mercer. It's one of those things where you're like, man, I'm so glad I didn't get that 15-yard variety.
Trip Slayton was number 37, a reserve linebacker. If he's fully extended, he may have gotten there. It's going to be close. You disagree?
They can't see it, but my face says it all.
Neubauer back on the field from his own 30. Freshman quarterback hands it off to Dwayne McGee. A tackle by Kopp. Gain of 3.
And now's the time, Roy, and I get it. You're establishing the game plan. It's run the ball. It's run the ball. But so far, your main offense has been from taking a shot down the field and getting the ball sideline to sideline in space. The defense is starting to move forward just a little bit. So now is a time to work on your play action game and then try and split the safeties like you did before.
McGee tried to bust through the line. He couldn't do it. He'll lose a yard. Kopp again. Logan Kopp. We're told this week by Grant Olson, he brings the energy, sets the tone, the junior from St. Louis.
Talk about how smart he is, Roy, how well respected he is. But more than anything, you get them into a third and obvious pass where the defensive ends get to not think about playing the run, but thinking about getting after the quarterback. It'll free up guys like Kopp in the middle.
Bears just 1 of 5 on third down. Neubauer pressure through the A-gap. Smith twisting and turning. Could not haul it in. Well, Kubitz just went right up by the center. And Smith grabbing that hamstring. He's been battling a hamstring injury. Missed the Alabama game. Missed 3 games towards the end of the season.
And Roy, what's the best way to get by a freshman quarterback? It's by speeding him up, bringing all-out pressure, trusting that there might be windows in your zone, but he's not going to be able to make that throw because there's too much pressure in his face. Kubitz and Crumby got that pressure up the middle, and they're forcing Whitbauer to make faster decisions.
John McConnell. Punt for Mercer. Jackson Williams, a late fair catch. And after a punt of 40, the Bison will get it back, leading by 14 here in Fargo. The Gold Star Marching Band here at the Fargodome. Home team out in front of Mercer, 21-7. Here the FCS Championship quarterfinal. You go back in time, more than a decade ago, College Game Day, 2 trips to Fargo, really at the pinnacle of the dynasty for the Bison in the previous decade. 8 national championships were won, and great to see Coach Corso. Chris Fowler still hosting College Game Day back then. ESPN Way, located now downtown, perpendicular to Bison Boulevard, not far away, the friendly confines of the Fargodome. Sam Acho, Roy Philpott, Lauren Sisler. Bison get it back. Bryce Lance worked 1 tackle and spins ahead towards the 37. Thomas thought he was going to make the tackle. Those championships, it's one thing to win a national title. It's another to win multiple championships. It's an entirely different stratosphere when you win 8 in a span of a decade.
And you keep on saying 8 in a decade, you're right, but it was 9 in 11 years. So we got to get that extra 1 in that extra year. This team has been dominant. Now they're trying to get back to that level of dominance.
Marty Brown up the middle. And the FCS Freshman of the Year. He won the Jerry Rice Award. Miller and Redding tackled him. It's enough for another first down.
Talk about those championships, Roy. I mean, it was 5 in a row. They take a year break. Then 3 in a row. They take a year break. Then win another one. I mean, that's what excellence looks like I don't care what level of football you're at. That's dominance. And those championships, those banners mean something to everyone that has been here, that's here now, and that will come through.
Yeah, the quarterback legacy we mentioned with Carson Wentz, Trey Lance, Easton Stick, TK Marshall. Try to keep that play alive. He's going to lose a yard. Lauren?
You talk about all those great quarterbacks. Cam remembers that 2021 team fondly, a team that carried to a national championship and the team that embraced everyone, upperclassmen down to the freshmen. You heard him talk about it yesterday, the scout team. It didn't matter who you were. Cam said that's what he loved so much about that team. And now with 25 seniors on this team, the respect is still the same from top to bottom. It's the culture. It's the closeness. They have a love for one another. And it's all there in the makings of yet another national championship team.
And we were told the story this week. Randy Hedberg, the quarterback's coach, had to tend to a family issue this year. And it was Cam Miller that ran the quarterback room, ran the meetings like a coach. He'll be dropped after a gain of 1 by Thomas again. I don't know if that's commonplace, but when you got a player that can do that and turn out to be a coach for a day or two, it's impressive.
Yeah, it's not commonplace. I do know. I've been in, whether it's college or NFL, it's hard to run a meeting. Meaning, as a player, you're expecting to get all the information from the coaches and have them tell you what to do and what to expect. To be able to run a meeting means you've watched the tape, you know what to expect, and it's not just you, but it's the other quarterbacks on the roster you're telling what to do. It's the defense, the scout team, you're getting them arranged. So that was one of the most impressive things I heard about Cam.
Marshall, the running back, serving as a pass protection back, and on third down, Thomas again. 3 big plays on this possession to force an NDSU punt.
Great job by Marquez Thomas on the sack, but that was what people call a coverage sack. Nothing downfield. You'll see it because you're going to see Cam Miller pump fake. He thinks it's open, but it's not. Great job in coverage. And so what Marquez does is number 6. He says, okay, I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to keep eyes on the quarterback, and I'm going to bring him down.
Thomas made that look easy, waiting to see if Miller was going to take off or was he going to drop back in coverage. As soon as Miller took a step forward, he was there and ready to make the tackle. Roble from the 10. Back to the 19. Mercer will get the football back after a punt of 44 and a return of 9. And there's been some chippiness we've seen today here at the Fargodome. Not unexpected in the quarterfinal round of the FCS playoffs. The 2 teams that do not know each other prior to this game.
It's one of those deals, Roy, where you got one team that's been the bully, they've been the champion, and another team that's trying to get on the map. You don't get on the map by being quiet. You got to get on the map by making a little bit of noise. Could be verbally or could be on the field with your pads.
Whit Neubauer standing at his own 15. The Bison in postseason play in this building, 36-1. And Parsons to the edge, a gain of 4. 36-1 postseason play here for the Bison. Almost unbeatable. The lone loss came back in 2016 against JMU. Another former power in the FCS ranks. But I think it's that kind of mentality. Hey, we're the favorites. We're the higher seed. We don't lose to teams out of the SoCon. Miller, full head of steam. Rumbles for a first down. C.J. Miller, another big play, shoved out by Ryan Jones. Sam, it's a gain of 23, and Mercer on the ground trying to establish something.
This is the 2-minute
Gets us to the 2-minute timeout. Bears on the move when we come back. Kevin, we cannot wait. We appreciate you gentlemen providing support today and analysis. And yeah, they're right. Mercer's defense, the Miles Redding interception. They have stood tall here in the Fargodome. And it's first down approaching midfield. Boy, Miller finally got the handoff. Will Mostart with the tackle, and somehow they'll gain 2 yards on that play.
Yeah, Neubauer's been a little bit risky and dicey with the ball. He's supposed to hand that off. It's essentially a zone read. He's reading the defensive line, but he's a little bit confused. Do I hand it? Do I keep it? And so that's why you see his eyes. He's like, what do I do? Where do I go? So that ball's been a little bit slippery, so keep an eye out on that.
Here's a flea flicker, trick play. Wide open, and the pass sails low and incomplete. Dabbs was breaking open behind the defense, Ajonte Dabbs. And Neubauer was hit as he tried to heave one deep.
And that was Keenan Wilson on the inside that prevented that play from being made. He's on the inside, he loops around to the outside, number 58 on the right side of your screen. That hit prevents a big play from being made. And so sometimes you might think that you're not involved in a play, but Keenan Wilson winning his one-on-one allows everyone else on the defense to recover.
2 big plays by Keenan Wilson that probably don't show up in the box score tomorrow. And he's made 2 in these first 2 quarters. On 3rd down, Neubauer feeling the pressure and broken up. Anena was able to slip back from his defensive end position. He was in coverage about 15 yards deep.
It's one of the fun, but also one of the most frustrating things to do as a defensive end. And Nene's 93, the middle of your screen. He's going to go back into coverage. Like, man, I want to rush the quarterback, but hey, if I'm here, maybe I can pick it off. He doesn't pick it off. He backs it down. But Nene gets a chance to make a critical play for his team. So it starts with Keenan Wilson on the D-line. Then it goes to Toby Nene.
Jackson Williams off the McConnell punt. Sailed 41 yards. The Bison will get it back with a 2-touchdown lead. Remember, NDSU gets the football first to begin the second half, so perhaps a chance to go 2 for 1. You know the question I love to ask. If you're NDSU, you've got a couple of timeouts, all 3 in fact to work with. 70 seconds, 2-touchdown lead at home. How aggressive do you want to be?
I thought you were going to ask, what do you do on 4th down? That's the question. I'm like, it's 1st down, Roy. What you talking about 4th down? If I'm North Dakota State, I'm extremely aggressive. I go back to it. Feel free to start with a run or a screen, but get your offense going. 2-score lead, make it 3.
Bennu, the running back. Cam Miller, seam, caught. Raja Nelson in stride, all the way up to the 44. 34 yards on the play.
And that's why you're aggressive, because the defense thinks maybe it's a run, maybe it's a screen. Will they try to be aggressive? But this offense says, I love the eyes by Cam Miller. Looking off the safety.
Timeout,
allows
North Dakota State. 30-second timeout.
Allows Raja Nelson to split the 2 safeties. So one thing as a defender, you're taught to read the quarterback's eyes. Well, if the quarterback is looking one way, you start to go that way. And so they can trick you and make you think they're going in a different way. Right here, you see Raja Nelson in the slot. He's going to run essentially a seam route. Runs over top of that, that middle field defender, number 2. Miles Redding gets behind him in between the safeties. So it's the route, but it's also the eyes by Miller.
I love Bryce Lance. He came over there after the play was made. It was a tough catch, an incredible throw, dropped in the bucket beautifully by Cam Miller, but Nelson was taking too long to get the ball back to the official. Bryce comes in, hey, get the ball in, let's go. They called a timeout afterwards.
Well, that's what this team is about. This team is about doing all the intricacies of football. So you get that 1st down, you immediately sprint, you hand the ball to the official so he can spot it and get to the next play. So Lance is thinking next level.
Bryce Lance called 2 touchdown passes for 6 minutes of this game. Pump fake by Miller. Wants Lance again. Contact, holding. There's the flag. Danesis Miller, the guilty party. And we could see the grabbing of the jersey from our broadcast position in real time.
Pass interference, number 11 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
And what frustrates me about this play is that Danesis Miller didn't have to hold Bryce Lance. He was in good coverage. It's essentially a double move by Bryce Lance, bottom of your screen. So he's in good coverage. You get beat a little bit, but you don't have to hold, you don't have to grab. He has great change of direction, but he's being lazy with his hands, and that's what the referee saw.
Now, the side judge also came up a bit gimpy after that sequence. Jeff Affelbaum. And he's going to walk off the field in the back of the end zone. So this crew will have to shuffle things around. And there he is. Hope everything's okay there for Jeff. NDSU with 2 timeouts remaining in Mercer territory after the pass interference penalty. Cam Miller wants more. Pocket collapsing. It's a great job to buy some time. Back across near the middle of the field. And it's Bryce Lance. Well, that route took about 25 seconds. He'll pick up 13 and a first down.
And I love how Bryce Lance ran back to get the ball. And then also once he got that ball on the reception, got it to the referee, spotted the ball so you're not wasting time.
5 catches, 73 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The younger brother of Trey Lance. They call him Bryce. Miller open. Henderson and incomplete. Elon Henderson is 5 yards deep in the end zone, untouched.
And so you're going to see a few things. You see the aggression by the offense. And so Cam Miller is going to see there's nothing available. He's going to take his time. And then Bryce Lance is going to come back to the quarterback. People say get friendly to the quarterback. Go back towards the ball. Don't run away from him. Run down that sideline and towards him. So great job by both Cam Miller and Bryce Lance.
About the touch and the accuracy on the move under duress to hit Lance in stride. 2nd and 10. Miller delivers again. Another perfect strike at the 21. Makai Collins, his 2nd reception. His first one went for 70 yards back in the first quarter.
Is it me, Roy? Does it feel like we're at maybe the scouting combine where quarterbacks are showing off their skills? That's a throw from one hash all the way down to the opposite sideline. The other one was a scramble drill, a escape drill showing his touch. Cam Miller's trying to show his stuff, and if scouts are watching, they'd be impressed.
And so would his dad in the stands, his former high school coach in Iowa. They nearly won a state championship together. He sends the inspirational text before each and every game. Mercer's going to call a timeout here.
Timeout, Mercer, their first charge, 30-second timeout.
And you know our friends down in Brookings, South Dakota are watching with intent eyes right now. The NCAA FCS championship coming your way January 6th on ESPN at 7 Eastern from Frisco. But the winner of this game gets the Jackrabbits in the semifinals next week. The question is, where will that game be played? If it's NDSU, it's here at the Fargodome. If it's Mercer, that game will be down in Brookings. And of course, we mentioned it earlier, the Jacks back-to-back national championships, won in Frisco. They call it the Dakota marker game. It is a very spicy rivalry. And of course, Montana State, the #1 seed, won last night. They're already in the semis. You can feel momentum if this score holds today, what that game could feel like this time next week.
Yeah, teams that don't like each other. Think about it. North Dakota State won 9 of the last 11 FCS national championships. And in the last 2 years, it's been South Dakota State. And NDSU, they feel that. And so to get there, you have to get through Mercer, and then you have to get by SDSU again.
Cam Miller beat the Jacks for the first time in the regular season this year. It was 13-9. He told us yesterday felt like a huge weight was lifted off his shoulders because they hadn't done it prior to that point. Miller picks up a yard, and that's it. Ken Stanley brought him down. So 14 seconds remaining. A timeout is called, and it's going to be 4th down and 1.
Timeout, North Dakota State, their second charged, 30-second timeout.
You could feel the relief in his voice when he told us that story, by the way, right?
Oh, absolutely. He talked about how he felt like he was in a slump, like a batting slump. And he finally got that victory. And so sometimes when you have rivalry, it's great and it's amazing when you're on the winning side. When you haven't won it in a number of years, you feel a sense of pressure, a sense of I've got to get it done.
Ryan Day says hello, by the way.
And that's the joy. Like, those are the joys of rivalry, but that's also the pain of rivalry. Talk about Ryan Day and his struggles versus Michigan. I mean, that's what football is all about.
Crosa on the field, Miller on the sideline, a 38-yard attempt. And the senior from Dublin, Ohio. Perfect 10 for 10, under 40 yards this season, and that trend and streak will continue. So 11 seconds remaining in the half, 24-7. Now the Bison, 11-2 this year. You go back to that week 0 opener in Boulder against Colorado, 31-26 the final score. And NDSU gave the Buffaloes all they could handle. We mentioned the 13-9 Dakota marker game in the win against then #1 South Dakota State. It's a loss to South Dakota in the final seconds late November. And then to come back a week ago here at the Dome against Abilene Christian, it was 14-3. Abilene Christian out in front early. Kickoff return by Jackson Williams. It changed momentum, and the Bison ran away with it late to get to this point, and now a 17-point advantage here.
Correct, and a chance, you talked about that doubling up opportunity just in this game specifically first. Okay, you scored at the end of the first half, you get the ball at the beginning of the second half, but then you double up on your confidence too. You knew you had a good game plan, and if you can finish this game, you're saying, okay, now we get a chance to face our rival.
Tim Polasek got into coaching at this level way back in 2006 in a phone call from Craig Bohl. The legend himself gave him a buzz in Wisconsin and said, "Coach, we need you." He came, a couple of stints here, now the head man in Fargo. Parker Roble trying to make a play. Upended at the 19. I'm not going to ask you the question here.
Go for it on 4th down.
How aggressive do you want to be? I'm not asking. I'm not asking. There's only 6 seconds left.
I thought you were going to ask about that last 4th down with the field goal, but I know you got that kicker in you, right? High school kicker. I'm like, oh, that's not an obvious kick. If I'm me, I might go for it on 4th and 1.
You and I do not see eye to eye in any 4th down scenario this year. I'm learning that. We are total opposite ends of the spectrum. And it changes, it feels like, from game to game. You're more aggressive one game, I am the next.
I'm still on the eye-to-eye thing.
First down, they're going to run a play. Dwayne McGee cuts it back. And a 9-yard pickup in what should be the final play of the half. Cam Miller throws for over 200 yards. He does the job on the ground with 38 more and a touchdown. 24-7 our score. Coming up, the halftime report, Kevin Connors and Roddy Jones. They head your way right after these messages. Welcome back to the FCS Championship quarterfinal inside the Fargodome. The #2 seed, Bison of NDSU, leading the 7 seed Mercer Bears out of the SoCon, 24-7. Samacho, Roy Philpott, Lauren Sisler, and the Cam Miller, Bryce Lance combo. Well, it was electric in our first 2 quarters. They put up monster numbers. Miller over 200 yards passing, and Lance 2 touchdown grabs in the first 6 minutes. Numbers speak for themselves.
Correct. Bryce Lance is having a perfect day. 5 targets, 5 receptions, but it's the touchdowns that stand out for me. Cam Miller, Bryce Lance, double move, touchdown early in the game. Then later in the game, you go Cam Miller, Bryce Lance, single move, touchdown. That gives him a 2-score lead. And then if it's not to Bryce Lance, Cam Miller does it with his legs. He shows you his dual threat ability. So for me, it's the Cam Miller, Bryce Lance show with the supporting cast showing up.
The athleticism, the big plays, and the experience for the Bison paying dividends. And it will be North Dakota State set to receive the football first. After that late field goal from 38 yards right before the break, Bison will try to enhance their advantage to begin the 3rd quarter. And a pooch kick received by Williams, upended short of the 30. Well, the winner of this game today gets South Dakota State in the semifinals a week from today. And if it's NDSU, that game will be played right back here in the Fargodome. Sam and Roy back with you. All right, so NDSU, I mean, they look the part so far. And they look like the team that won 8 championships in the last decade.
Well, they've calmed down. The last several weeks, they've been playing tense and playing uptight. And the message this week has been just chill. Calm down. We got this. So we're seeing a calm football team, and it's showing up on the football field.
Yeah, he said that to me a couple of times, too, during some of these broadcasts. And I try my very best, too. Bison get it, 1st and 10 from the 30, with Williams in motion. And a handoff to Marty Brown. Toe injury and all, upended, stacked up at the 29. He may have lost half a yard. So Stanley with a stop. 2nd down. And for the Bears, hey, this game is still available with 2 quarters of football left to be played on the road. First ever meeting between these two. It's a team that will not back down from a challenge that NDSU presents.
But they have to do what they've done all season, which is what? Take the football away. More interceptions, more turnovers is going to change the game.
Penu, the running back, a little stutter step and a jump cut. It equates to a gain of a couple. Isaac Dowling a tackle. It'll be 3rd down and long. Do you want to see the Bears do anything different in terms of aggressiveness, blitzing, with all the turnovers they forced this year?
No, I don't. I don't need to see that. I need to see this. What is this? This means 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. You win on 1st down, win on 2nd down. You earn the right to rush the quarterback on 3rd down. And so that's what I want to see. I want to see more Manley. I want to see more Zoc, number 94, number 0. The defensive ends getting after Cam Miller. That's what I'm hopeful for if I'm Mercer.
4-man pressure. Miller delivers wide open. 1st down. Mekhi Collins brought down to the 47. A gain of 14.
And if I'm Mercer, what I don't want to see right now is people in space, because right now receivers in space are making plays. That's what's happening. It's essentially an option route. So Mekhi Collins has 2 ways to go, and he chooses the inside. This is the 2nd or 3rd time that we've seen a simple slant be wide open and go for big chunks.
Sam, it does feel like a different NDSU offense this season, with Jake Landry coming in as the play caller. Tim Polasek, of course, as the head coach. It's been a return to physicality. They've also been aggressive in the throwing lanes. Cam Miller going to be brought down back at the 40. Nias Nash with the sack. Arius Nash, excuse me, the junior from Charlotte, North Carolina. And a loss of 3.
And that's number 1, Arius Nash. We talked about it. We want to see the defensive line make plays right on the inside. Nash runs a stunt. It's a pick stunt. He essentially picks the right tackle, and then he ricochets off the inside. That's Mason Miller, number 73, right tackle. You pick him, you hit him, and you ricochet inside. So a great job by Nash on finally forcing negative plays.
Arius Nash with the sack, his 9th of the season. And Penu, no running room on 2nd down and 17. Nash again with a play. And Sam, he's going to lose a couple more, so back-to-back plays behind the line of scrimmage with Braden Manley and Nash that time. 7 tackles behind the line so far for Mercer.
Well, here's the great part. If you're Mercer, you're saying, okay, our best players haven't really been getting in the backfield. So Arius Nash says, okay, they're going to focus on Manley, the conference player of the year. Let me win my one-on-one. And so now you're in a 3rd and 20. Now's the time just to, no penalties, try and get a sack. Just know this isn't an obvious pass. They may try a quick screen or a run as well.
Miller has been really good on 3rd down with the exception of the 1 pick to Miles Redding. Looking for the tight end, breaking across the middle, Carson Williams. There's double coverage there. Ken Stanley some 30 yards down the field. Prevented the completion. It's the first time we've talked about an NDSU tight end today. It's going to be 4th.
Yeah, great job by Stanley. They've called him the CEO of the defense. He's number 15 on the inside. He has to play inside coverage on the tight end. So great job playing inside coverage and getting your head back around. Ken Stanley, 5'11", 225, redshirt senior from Waycross, Georgia, the leader of the defense.
Roble bottled up quickly at the 12. So a punt of 47. Bryce Lance made the tackle. The special forces for NDSU get the job done.
If it wasn't enough to do it as a receiver, do it on special teams too. Go ahead, Lance.
17-point lead back in the Fargodome. Lauren Sisler caught up with both coaches at halftime. Lauren, what did you hear?
Yeah, talking to Coach Polasek first, he said, look, I like the way our offense is playing. I like the balance. He said, we just need to set the edges on defense, build up those walls. Sam, you talked about them coming out too tight these last couple of games. That was a big deal for him. He said he really liked to see the way they came out. He said he liked the energy. He said, look, he likes the way they're working right now. The message stays the same here in the second half. Have fun and play together.
The two coaches, it feels like, that have pressed the right buttons with their teams in their first seasons at their respective schools. Off the screen, and Dabbs will race ahead towards the 30. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Lauren, what did you hear from Mike Jacobs?
Yeah, Coach Jacobs giving up too many big plays is what he said, lack of execution, but he doesn't think they're too far off. He has some confidence here. He says we just have to believe. Believe is the big word. 30 more minutes of straining through the echo of the whistle.
And that strain comes at a critical time here. Bears need a touchdown. Try to change the pressure on NDSU. Wayne McGee against the grain, only needed 2, and gets flipped over the line to gain. Should be enough to move the chains, and it is. So Darius Givens flipped him over.
And you talk about flipping things over. Mercer needs to flip the field. We've seen one shot down the field that was successful. We've seen a couple attempts, flea flickers, play actions. This is the time, 7 protection, get it downfield.
Well, fake it to McGee. Neubauer's been under pressure all afternoon. That continues. Sent into the turf at the 14. Sibomana got there, number 14. 3rd sack for the Bison today.
Well, here's the problem. If I know you're trying to flip the field, they know you're trying to do it too. Enoch Sibomana, outside linebacker, he strains. He's relentless. He doesn't wait for someone else to make the play. He keeps on with his effort. They talked about him and his effort all week long, all season long when it comes to practice, and they say it shows up in games.
And Grant Olson suggested to us yesterday here at the Dome, we are so old at linebacker. It's got to show up in a game like this. Cord with a carry to the 26. So Tyrell Cord, sophomore out of Charlotte, North Carolina, gains a couple. 3rd down and long.
And Roy, this is the issue, because you think, okay, I want to push the ball downfield, but every time I try, it seems as if we get sacked. That doesn't mean you abandon that thought process. You're not going to win this game by running the ball over and over again. You have to tell the offensive line and the tight ends to bow up in protection, give Neubauer a few more seconds, and he's going to split the D.
Bears 0 for their last 5 on 3rd. Neubauer needs 12. Off the tunnel screen, he will not get there. Well, Roble tried to spin his way across the 35. That was about 7 yards short of the line to gain.
Great job. I just have to add, that was a screen, but number 50 is a defensive tackle. Cody Heisman gets out of his stack, meaning he's rushing the quarterback, and instead of keep on going upfield, he runs back and makes the tackle. So brilliant effort by number 50, Cody Heisman, the nose guard for North Dakota State.
Ken Miller said yesterday, we've been back to our physical ways this season. I think we have felt that from our broadcast position here today, especially with the defense. Jackson Williams, a fair catch after a punt of 44. The NCAA FCS continues next Saturday. Semifinals up first at noon and 3:30 on ABC. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. And Bison, Tim Polasek would love to be back here a week from now against South Dakota State, the defending national champions. Their arch rival, their arch nemesis, if you will. And I get a sense if this score holds, we mentioned it at the end of the 2nd quarter, we're not going to see a lot of empty seats here at the Fargodome, given what's at stake and the tenacity of that rivalry. Penu to the edge. And shoved out to the 28.
It's funny you talk about the empty seats. When you start winning, it's not just players that expect excellence, it's the fans as well. We've been in the city for a couple days now. You start hearing some of the fans talk about how, oh, when we play South Dakota State, that's when this place is going to be packed. They talk about getting back to their championship ways. There's a level of expectation that comes with winning, not just for the players, not just for the coaches, but for the fans as well.
36-1 record at home, immaculate, but it's not fair to the team, right? The weight of those expectations and trying to pack this house. It'll be packed next week again, assuming that NDSU is able to hold on today, and we've got a lot of football still in front of us
But it is fair, Roy. I know it is fair for the team. That's what you expect. That's what you would want it no other way. Your expectation is to be the best. Most players are harder on themselves than anyone else is on them. And so you want those kinds of expectations on yourself, on your teammates, from your fans. That's what you play for. You don't play for being average.
3rd and 2, empty backfield. It looks like a quarterback run, and it is. Cam Miller didn't need much. He'll pick up the first. Gain of 4. I meant if I'm a player, I want to see this place packed out. For Abilene Christian last week, for Mercer this week. We know it will be a week from now. We get that. And about 11,000 here today. It's a good atmosphere. It's still loud. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the players on the Bison feel it as well. They haven't won these last 2 years. And so there's a reason why maybe people aren't showing up in droves as they did in years past. For you talk about the 8 championships in a decade, I'm going to add that 11th year, that 9th championship in 11 years. There's expectations.
Pedu. And that's what happens when you win all those times. Yeah, from that standpoint, you can certainly understand it. You're used to winning national championships.
Yeah, think about the Patriots, man. Like, if you're a Patriots fan, if you're a Spurs fan back in their day, a Lakers fan, you're thinking, hey, I expect a Western Conference Finals. That's nothing. So that's almost what these Bison fans and family expect. And I think the players want to live up to it.
Marty Brown, the running back. Redshirt freshman out of Omaha. The Bison show a power look, and they're going to fake it. Cam Miller, great play action fake, but a better job by the Mercer defense. Looking for Lance deep down the field. That play did not have a chance. Andrew Zock, Darius Nash applying the pressure. It'll be 3rd and 10.
And good job by Zock. You talked about him, the true freshman, number 94, Andrew Zock, applying pressure from the edge. He wins early, but he's not ready for the speed of Cam Miller. As you're a freshman, you're thinking, okay, I did my job, I won. But then the second part of the play is getting the quarterback down. Cam Miller, the veteran, the senior. Andrew Zock, the rookie.
Bears defense has arrived at the dance here in the second half, giving this team a chance. And they do it again on 3rd and long. Cam Miller. It's going to be intercepted. Redding retreated, and that's going to be his 2nd pick of the game. Sam, I thought he was going to throw it out of bounds. He did not. And Miles Redding, 2 picks today, 9 on this season for this Mercer secondary.
So Miles Redding doesn't just have skills. Miles Redding has ball skills. Undercuts the route once again, gets his hand underneath, and gets his 2nd pick of the day. If you want to get back into the game, that's exactly how you do it.
Had the pick 6 last week against Rhode Island. 2 interceptions here today. As a free safety, the senior from Mableton, Georgia. A complete and total game changer out of the SoCon. Mercer wants to take a shot. They will. It's a 1st down and a little bit more. Kendall Harris, a gain of 18. Here come the Bears.
And here should come the hurry up. You had the turnover, the momentum. They call it a sudden change in football because you're sitting on the bench if you're the offense, just waiting for something to happen. Your defense get a pick. You say sudden change, you run on the field. You get your shot played. Now all of a sudden you have the momentum, or at least you can steal the momentum. So no need to run the ball now. Take another play action, take another shot.
Anthony Soto dialing up the plays on the sideline. Offensive coordinator, head coach Mike Jacobs. Albee was dancing around in the backfield.
False start, number 71 offense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So DJ Smith comes in again at quarterback.
Which to your point, Roy, you'd expect if DJ Smith is in there, it's going to be a run. What an opportunity to put in your running quarterback, quote unquote, and throw a pass.
DJ Smith will force Neubauer now to a wide receiver position. They love to run it out of this set. Smith will keep it. North Dakota State was ready.
And why do I say what I said? Because if I'm the defense, I'm thinking, okay, anytime Smith is in the game, it's quarterback run, it's quarterback power. But now is when you have a tendency breaker. You haven't shown it, but break your tendency. Let all the safeties and linebackers think it's going to be quarterback run, quarterback power, and the next time you bring back DJ Smith, throw a pop pass. Fake the run, pass.
Excuse me, I was going to say 2nd and 13 for Neubauer. Took over in late October for the injured DJ Smith. And another stoppage, another flag. And the Bears retreating again.
False start, number 57 offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That was Mukwiza. Tyler Murray. Back-to-back penalties. The Mercer offensive line. That's a 5th-year senior and a true freshman in Murray for Mike Jacobs, and he can't believe it. Second and 18. Parsons went in motion. Neubauer looking his direction. Intercepted at the 6. Shimdimi Alfaro, the pick, his first of his season.
Timeout on the field.
I'm not a baseball player, Roy, but to me that looked like a pop-up fly. Shimdimi Alfaro makes the easiest play he's going to make all postseason long. Interception.
The first round of the college football playoff begins Friday, December 20th.
Well, we cannot wait. 6 days away. You've got one game Friday night in primetime. 3 more on Saturday. Sam Acho, Roy Philpott. I saw your predictions this week. That Clemson-Texas game, it is spicy. You think Clemson's got a chance to make a deep run?
I do. I think that Clemson has an opportunity. They snuck into the back door of the playoff. They lost to South Carolina, and the only reason they got in was because Miami lost to Syracuse. But Clemson is playing with a newfound confidence. I think that they have a chance to upset and surprise Texas based off of not their offense, but their defense, making plays on Quinn Ewers.
And Quinn Ewers, you wonder if Steve Sarkisian will look in the direction of Arch Manning, maybe as a mobile quarterback against Clemson's defense. One of several big storylines going into next weekend. Can Kurt Cignetti in Indiana and Friday night in that first game find a way on the road to get the job done? Tennessee, Ohio State. Ryan Day, we mentioned him in the second quarter. And SMU and Penn State in Happy Valley. It's great to see home field advantage in the new 12-team college football play.
And even it's great to see the FBS level start to take on the level of playoffs that the FCS has had. We've seen a multi-team playoff in the FCS. Now we're seeing it at different levels.
2nd down and 2. Marty Brown to the perimeter. A high step and shoved out of the 25. A gain of 12. And a first down for the Bison.
So we talked about edges a lot. And here's the simple play. It's a crack replace. The receiver is going to go and block down, and it's counted on the corner, Daintis Miller, to make the tackle. It's a crack block. You're supposed to replace the person who got blocked. Daintis Miller, instead of going to replace, he's running as if he thinks it's a pass. That's why that big play was available.
On first down, Cam Miller. What a day it has been for him. 13 of 20 passing. That was 14th completion. Another grab for Braylon Henderson. And he shoved ahead across the 35, a 9-yard pickup. Well, you think about the differences between the FBS and the FCS, a 12-team playoff there. Different vibe here with a different number of teams. And also scholarships, 85 in the FBS, 63 in the FCS, and the number of playoff teams doubles at this level. And I'm here to tell you, it's not bad at 24, and it hasn't been bad for a long period of time.
Correct. And another thing that's different between the levels is the athletic budgets. I mean, some of these teams on the FBS level, the budgets are 10 times as big as the FCS level, so it's harder to field more sports and more teams.
Penetration by the Bears, and Penu shoved down on 2nd and short. He lost to Lauren.
You talk about the budgets, and that's one thing that Cam Miller stood up in front of his team and talked about. He said, look, the big message is the commitment. Lots of opportunities to transfer, to find more NIL money out there, but these guys stayed together, these 25 seniors. He said the guys sitting in these chairs will be your best friends for life, the best friends you've ever had. And Cam really got emotional sharing that with us yesterday. You saw him kind of choking back the tears and admitted there were a lot of tears that day when he gave that speech in front of his team. Yeah, the final senior speeches by the Bison. And his movement on the left side. Zabel jumped across the line. Third down and 9. Unless there were other shenanigans at the line of scrimmage.
False start, number 74, the offense. The defender never got in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, third down.
But it's interesting because you know Tim Polasek, the head coach, year one, with NIL, with portal, and all of these FBS teams circling Fargo, North Dakota like sharks. They've had to fin those programs away to keep this roster intact. Not easy to do, to Cam Miller's point to us yesterday. They've done it, and that's the reason they are this deep in the playoffs.
Well, you're right. It's not easy to do. I was talking to the athletic director of University of Albany, another FCS program. He said, man, we had to take 50-something new players because everybody left.
Wow. Cam Miller bought some time. Henderson, he stopped short of the first down.
And it wasn't Roy that they just left, but other FBS programs were taking the talent from the FCS level. So there's so many talented players at this level with the ability to transfer all of a sudden. And NIL, it's like, well, okay, this is an opportunity. There's more money. Those are things that they think about.
Time winding down here in our third quarter. Parker Roble back deep to receive. It's 24-7 at halftime, and 15 minutes later, the score remains the same after a scoreless 15 minutes. 24-7, the Bison out in front. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
We're back in the Fargodome. It is 24-7, North Dakota State up. Coach, what's it going to take to put this one away?
Well, continue to play great defense. They have 6 first downs. That was awesome in the third quarter. They got a great defense. We got to get the puzzle solved so we can put together a long drive or two or find some explosives to put this away.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Roy?
Lauren, thank you very much. 15 minutes to go in Fargo here in the FCS Championship quarterfinal. Winner gets South Dakota State next week for noon Eastern kick. Jackrabbits and who? About to find out. Sam Acho, Roy Philpott, Lauren Sisler, Mercer. Parker Roble will watch that punt carry him out of bounds. And the Bears will get it to begin the fourth. Trailing by 17, a punt of just 32. The freshman quarterback with Neubauer on the field after this. "17-point lead back in Fargo, home, of course, of the Bison. Chilly conditions outside. We mentioned the temperatures 2 days ago. We landed here, Sam. It was -9, 52 straight hours where the temperature was below zero. Don't tell that to the herd. They are rock solid, tough, and can handle the elements, unlike me.
Can I ask a question, though? What's the difference between a buffalo and a bison? Can somebody explain?
You asked for too much. I wasn't ready for that. That wasn't written down on my rundown sheet. Bears get it. Bears also pretty tough. You got Bears, you got Bison, and a lot going on here in the quarterfinal. NCAA FCS continues next Saturday with the semifinals. We mentioned it moments ago. Noon and 3:30 on ABC right here. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Where you talk about championships, this is when champions are made, either offensively or defensively. Either Neubauer is going to grow or the defense is going to show up.
He's had moments today, both good and bad. In the pocket, the pressure, it collapses again. Neubauer brought down to the 30. McCaslin, it'll be the 4th sack of the game for the NDSU defense.
Talk about champions being born. Defense at this point, beginning of the fourth quarter, is when you take over. You're going to see McCaslin, number 92. He wins on the inside. He doesn't allow himself to get blocked by Samuel Albee. When the game is on the line, you have to know how to finish. That's what I'm watching if North Dakota State will do.
McCaslin, only a sophomore, and a big play. Neubauer underneath, the tight end, Albee. back to the original line of scrimmage. And that has been a consistent theme in this second half. Mercer facing 3rd and long. Here comes the pressure. Here comes the punt team.
And you heard from Coach Polasek, only 6 first downs allowed by this Bison defense. That is outstanding. That is unbelievable. To go through nearly an entire game, a full 3 quarters and some change, and only allow 6 first downs, it means that you're winning on 1st and 2nd down and then getting off the field on 3rd.
It was Neubauer that committed July of 2023 to Mercer and the whole coaching staff with Drew Cronick. He's now the offensive coordinator at the Naval Academy. Jackson Williams a fair catch. After a punt of 40, the Bison get it back. 12:59 to go in the Fargodome. Well, after that scoreless 3rd quarter, the lead remains 17 for number 2 seed North Dakota State over 7 seed Mercer. And Cam Miller, the hottest ticket in town for the Bison. It's been a extended career in Fargo. He has shattered total offensive yards record here today, over 11,370 in his career. And now the all-time leader in that category for NDSU. National championship back in 2021. Trying to get back to Frisco in 2024. Andrew Zaka tackle on TK Marshall. Miller continues the legacy, going back to Carson Wentz, 2012 to 15. Number 2 overall pick to the Eagles. Easton Stick was right behind him. Graduated in 2018, 5th round selection by the Chargers. Still in the league. And then Trey Lance, number 3 overall in 2020 to the 49ers, currently with the Dallas Cowboys. Cam Miller told us his dad certainly would echo these sentiments. He's got a lot of football left in him. Hand off to Penu. Thomas a tackle. And it'll be 3rd down and long.
Cam Miller also told us when he gave his senior speech, you were talking about it earlier, he told everyone on this team that whatever you want, you can get it here in North Dakota. NFL, you can get it. Compete for championships, you can get it. Opportunity to win, brotherhood, teammate, you can get it all here. So he encouraged a lot of the younger guys and reminded them of the importance of staying.
Penu on the field on 3rd down. Miller looks his direction. Penu breaking open. He'll get it finally, and incomplete. That pass sailed right above his fingertips. Dowling was in coverage. And the Bears again are going to force a punt. The defense has given Mercer a chance on the road. The question is, can the offense come up with a big play sometime in the near future? Sam, we do have an answer for you, too. Our entire research team, led by the great Jerome Ingram, here in our booth today, leading the charge. The difference between buffalo and bison: 2 distinct animals. Buffalo are native to Africa and Asia. Bison are found in North America and Europe. Bison have the larger heads, the humps, the overall size, while buffalo have the longer, curvier horns. After a punt of 54, Mercer gets it back. Make no mistake, the Bison in the house in Fargo today.
It's V-Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
Well, it is V-Week at ESPN when we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. You too can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. And remember, 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. Sam Acho, Roy Philpott, Lauren Sisler with much more, and an incredible story, the starting center for the Mercer Bears, Riley Adcock.
Riley Adcock, has endured a lot in his young life. At 16, he lost his father to a heart attack, becoming the man of the family to his mom and 3 younger brothers, and then Just a week before he left for Mercer in 2020, he finds out he has a tumor behind his right eye, and despite surgery delays, his faith never wavered. He finally had that surgery. The tumor was benign, and just 5 months, y'all, after that surgery, Riley made his first college debut.
Pass was incomplete, and that debut so quickly after the surgery, Lauren, incredible to bounce back in that manner.
Yeah, and you know, someone who's been a huge asset to him, his wife, Hope, receiving so much support from his family and teammates, but she's really been there for him. His high school sweetheart, they got married July 22nd, 2023, and Hope, now a trauma ICU nurse, continues to be his biggest supporter despite the demands of football. Riley says, you know, as much as I love my teammates, I love my wife a little bit more.
Understandable. Dwayne McGee picks up the first down.
That's my kind of guy right there. You know, you love your teammates, but a bond between husband and wife can't get past it. Oh, by the way, he graduated in May with a degree in civil engineering and graduated summa cum laude, which, one more question. What's the difference between summa cum laude, magna cum laude, cum laude?
It's about 0.3 of a percentage point when it comes to the GPA.
Okay.
Not sure that's the exact number. You get the gist. Neubauer buys some time. And the pass incomplete. Looking for Kendall Harris. And a penalty marker back at the 30 was just tossed to the turf.
Warning for sideline interference on North Dakota State.
Sam, is there any other button, any other notion that Mercer can come up with offensively to try to generate a touchdown scoring drive? Because they've been stuck in neutral. After that one score, it came in the first quarter, and it came easily. Since then, nothing.
Well, I would say, number one, ask Riley Adcock, the summa cum laude. He should be up here. But then secondly, take your shots downfield. Protect, and then take shots.
The protection has not been there. Dwayne McGee, SoCon Offensive Player of the Year, picks up a first down.
Like, as crazy as it sounds, the game is not out of hand. You've only had 3 first downs. Now this is your 4th. The game's not out of hand. You're running the ball effectively and efficiently. If you could just protect the 5 offensive linemen, add an extra tight end, maybe 2, do a 7 or 8 man protection, have a 2-man route, you can be able to beat these safeties.
Under 10 minutes remaining. McGee met in the backfield and driven down. Cody Heisman. And there is a flag. What a great football name, Cody Heisman.
I just wonder, does he have a vote tonight? Like, can he vote too? Does that, like, by default, his name is Heisman?
He should definitely have a vote.
All right, who's going to win Heisman tonight?
Travis Hunter, of Colorado.
That was easy.
No brainer.
No Ashton Genty?
I like Ashton Genty.
No Cam Ward?
There is no foul for face mask. Second down.
Cam Ward's had a great year. I feel like he has more momentum if they find a way to beat Syracuse in the Carrier Dome the final week of the regular season.
Yeah, Travis Hunter, no, that's the right answer. Travis Hunter was outstanding. And just going back to this play, we talk about how do you win against North Dakota State. It's not trying to attack the middle and the teeth of their defense. It's on the outside. So you get protection, and then you take a shot down the field. Of course, I've been saying it, they've been getting sacked, but get protection is the key piece.
7 in the box, play clock winding down. Neubauer didn't see it. Here comes the flag. And a delay of game against Mercer.
Delay of game, offense. 5-yard penalty, it's still second down.
Whit Neubauer is going to learn a lot about himself, about this offense, about Mercer, and the future, regardless of what happens here today in this game on the road.
Well, and the team is going to learn a lot about Whit Neubauer as well, as will the coaching staff. It's great to be a freshman and get experience, but you have to be able to grow. It's hard to grow when you have nowhere to go, right? He's getting pressured every single direction. So I'm looking for growth from Neubauer.
2nd and 20, underneath the tight end. Saw your Burt. Get some of that penalty yardage back. 3rd down coming up, less than 9 minutes to go. It's been a scoreless second half. Neubauer committed to Mercer over Central Michigan and Sanford July of last year. Business major at 6'6". All kinds of potential. Bears are 0 for the last 7 on 3rd. And the pressure has been a big reason why. Got to throw it at some point until he crosses the line. He does. Into plus territory, short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th down. I'm not going to ask the question because I know the answer.
What question? I don't know what question you're about to ask.
It's
I have
4th
no
and
idea
short.
Of what you could potentially ask right now.
It's 4th and short.
You got to go for it, Roy. We all know this. You've been doing this since week 0 when we started working together. It's 4th down. You have an opportunity to not only get a 1st down, but get back into the game. And how do you go for it? I mean, honestly, I'm not afraid of Whit Neubauer using his legs. And the reason I say that is this. There's been openings where he could run the ball. He hasn't taken it. So if nothing's open downfield, Neubauer can use his legs.
Good call of a timeout. Play clock was winding down. Game is on the line at this point. 8:02 to go, 4th and 3 coming up for Mike Jacobs and the Mercer Bears.
Now the problem, I'm going to contradict myself. The problem with using your legs is that all game long, when they've brought pressure, you have lost. Every time North Dakota State has brought pressure, Whit Neubauer has gotten sacked. Now when North Dakota State doesn't bring pressure and he has time, there are windows and spaces available to scramble. But if I'm North Dakota State, I'm not giving Neubauer any time. I'm bringing pressure like every single time before and see if he has the maturity and the growth to have answers early.
Have we talked enough about Grant Olson, the former All-American linebacker here in Fargo, who at one point in time had 29 tackles in a single game. In postseason play, mind you, in 2012 against Wofford. The game plan today for that man has been elite, and the pressure has been on point, and there was no slow start by the NDSU defense this afternoon. Bears got to have at least 3. Neubauer, you mentioned on the ground, and he will not get there. The helmet comes off. And Nene able to bring him down. And a turnover on downs. Neubauer has been harassed all game long. And no answer for that front 4 for the Bison.
And this time, you didn't need to see extra pressure. You just saw Neubauer look a little bit lost inside the pocket. And Nene was able to get that sack. But Neubauer has to be quicker with his decisions.
Grant Olson absolutely loves it. It's been an emotional year for him. You think about calling defensive plays for a team that's trying to win another national championship. All-American linebacker here, monster numbers. And we just found out they're expecting him and his wife Amy, baby number 2. There's a great video that went viral. The NDSU fans gobbling that up. Announcing the anticipated arrival. And their family expands. Of course, his wife Amy, an incredible golfer, played in the LPGA, retired earlier this year from the sport. And their daughter Carly, I guess just a year and a half old.
The result of the run was a 1st down. After the play, personal foul, late hit, number 73 of the offense. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
It was on Mason Miller. And the announcement in the locker room, tremendous, and it wasn't just Coach Olson.
A lot of guys already know the good news. Okay, the good news is that my wife and I are expecting baby number 2 now. Now we got some great news.
Great news! I got baby boy on the way.
And the great news you heard was from Carlton Littlejohn, who's a coach on this staff who actually played for North Dakota State. I saw him on the field beforehand. I said, hey, Coach, man, how many championships did you win? He's like, oh, I won 4. No big deal. He has 345 tackles, 4th all time. So this coaching staff, not just the defensive coordinator, but the coaching staff, they play together, they stay together.
It's a brotherhood with the Bison for sure. 2nd down and 7 after Brown picked up 3.
Just 4.
Just 4. Not conference titles. Or national championships. Strike to Stuffle. And the tight end brought down by Danis Miller. And it was Grant Olson yesterday that was searching for answers. we want to be on defense first because we tend to react better when we are. And he told his head coach that when Tim Polasek asked him, hey, if we win the coin toss, what do you want to happen? What is going to be in our best interest, Mari? We want to be on defense first, make sure that we defer. And he told us verbatim, if I have to rip my shirt off, spin it around my head like a helicopter to get these guys in gear to start, I'm going to do that. Our cameras were following Coach Olson around pregame. We didn't see it, but if something happened in the locker room,
Coach,
Coach,
the catch is under review.
Whatever it was, it worked.
Roy, real quick, I need some motivation. What are you going to do?
I'm not going to rip my shirt off and spin it around like a helicopter, but I can get in a three-point stance and you can bowl me over.
After
take one for the team.
Doing a little Petey Pop up there. I love it. Petey Pop. Let's go. Yeah, Grant Olson. I talked to Grant Olson.
Stuffle trying to come down with the ball cleanly as it was moving. We're going to take a look at that sequence. Pass was ruled incomplete and was not able to complete the task of the catch with Miller. Matt Austin, our rules expert, what did you see?
Yeah, that was an incomplete pass. It bounced off the receiver's chest, hit the ground, then he gathered it back in. So that was a good overturn.
And they're going to stop the play again on 3rd and 10. And I think the notion of where the ball should be spotted is what is in question.
Part of me would love to see another angle of that. Like, I know it bounced off of his chest, but part of me wants to see a different angle to get another look. Yeah. So Coach Polasek is upset and still frustrated. And as we see, ball comes out incomplete.
Should be at the 47. It should be 3rd down and 7. And instead they have it spotted at the 44. So that's part of the issue. Replay official today, Joe Cronin. And it is not a command center replay collaboration. Everything with the review in-house here at the Fargodome. Tim Polasek was also talking yesterday about starting fast, finding the right combination, words to say.
The discussion is the down and the distance.
And again, it should be 3rd and 7 from the 47. And from the 47, an incomplete pass. Should go right back to that mark. Should be moved 3 yards closer to midfield.
After review, it is 2nd down and 10 at the 44.
Oh boy.
I would be hot too if I'm Coach Polasek. In what world does an incomplete pass turn into not only loss of down, but a loss of yardage? That's a new penalty. We should invent a new. Can we invent new?
Yeah, we're gonna continue this review and get it right. Just be patient.
No, this is a new penalty. What is the penalty? What's the 3-yard? There's got to be one. Matt Austin, is there a 3-yard? I don't know.
Kelly Holman instructing that they want to get it right, and they will. They haven't done so yet.
So this is 2nd down. You're at the 47-yard line. This is before the play. 2nd and 7. So they run the play. It was ruled an incomplete pass after review. So incomplete pass means you lose the down and it goes to 3rd down. 3rd and 7. Unless we invent a 3-yard penalty. No, we can't do that. 3rd and 7. So it should be 3rd and 7 from the 47-yard line. For whatever reason, the ball's at the 44. Coach Polasek is saying, hey, I get it, it was incomplete, but can we at least get the ball back to where it belongs and get it right? And that's what we obviously see the referees and the officials doing, making sure they get it right. That's the most important thing. It's getting the call right. So that's a great job on making sure the ball is where it's supposed to be, even if it takes a little bit more time than expected. shoot, I needed more time. I wanted a second review. So, you know.
You did say earlier you like more controversy.
There it is.
We've arrived.
There it is.
Not in the way we expected. So Joe Cronin, our replay official, here inside the Fargodome. We'll go back to the drawing board. And I think they'll get us there to 3rd and 7 from the 47. And look, the most important thing is to get it right. Kelly Holman just mentioned that to us and to our viewers here on ABC. We support the initiative to make sure that it is correct. We're not there yet. Back to the original point on Coach Polasek. Whatever they did today, they advance to the semis next week. I would try to replicate that before South Dakota State comes to town in a rematch of the Dakota Marker rivalry.
Yes, you would try to, but you don't need to. For rivalry games like that, Roy, you're going to have juice. That's a guarantee.
You can feel that energy like starting to bubble up right now, potentially.
Oh, yeah.
After review, it's 3rd and 10 at the 44. The clock is at 6:13.
Oh, boy. It is 3rd down. You got that part accurate. So a 17-point lead at this juncture. Back now to live action on the field.
I'm not sure how this happened, but here we are.
Penner, the running back. Tight end Carson Williams went in motion. Miller sidesteps the pressure, delivers Mekhi Collins a first down. 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10. Who cares? Gain of 27 and a chain mover.
The one thing that we heard from the coaching staff from North Dakota State was we like our matchups versus these defensive backs if we have time. Cam Miller has time. Steps up in the pocket and finds Mekhi Collins for a big game. This is a theme of this game. Cam Miller with time, receivers, downfield, first downs, touchdowns.
Sam, it was the Bryce Lance show early with those 2 touchdowns. Mekhi Collins, 4 grabs for 119 yards. He's made a bevy of big plays. Pennu will try to make another one. And sandwich with a tackle at the 25.
A bevy of a hit right there.
Now coming up Monday night, 2 Monday Night Football games headed your way. Sam Darnold, the 11-2 Vikings. They've won 6 in a row. And they'll host Caleb Williams and the Bears at 8 Eastern on ABC, right here, and ESPN Plus. Also at 8:30 on ESPN Deportes. Bijan Robinson, the Falcons, square off against the Raiders. What amounts to 2 games headed your way on Monday night. Eli Mostert, one of the Mostert twins, big fan of the Minnesota Vikings. Him and his brother Will. Andrew Zock's going to pick up the sack. Marquez Thomas now force 3rd down and long.
Andrew Zock is a FCS freshman All-American. You see him at the bottom of your screen, number 94. He's quick, and one thing I love about his game is he's relentless. So he's quick, he has good hands, but he doesn't stop. And so he's a young player that you're seeing a lot of opportunity for him to grow. Freshman All-American, Conference Freshman of the Year, a lot in front of him.
Marshall, the running back. Cam Miller to the edge. The dual threat. And Miller steps out near another first down. Well, the Bison on the move again, and Cam Miller, Mr. Cool, calm, and collected. Numbers continue. He'll be on the rise. 259 passing yards, 40 more on the ground. That long touchdown run in the second quarter. And if the Bison can punch one more score in, you have to think all eyes turn towards South Dakota State. 2 late penalty flags come up. It was 3rd and 7 before, right? That's what it should have been.
Yeah, and I'm starting to second guess myself too, man. Maybe it was first down. he was second down.
Personal foul, block below the waist, number 3 of the defense. That's half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Chris Jones also on the turf for the Mercer Bears as a starting strong safety and will require some attention.
Timeout on the field.
Chris Jones, junior out of Winston-Salem. His team trailing by 17 as we step aside. (24-7) here at the FCS Championship quarterfinal. North Dakota State leading Mercer, 3:34 to go. And the updated bracket. Champion will be crowned January 6th in Frisco on ESPN in primetime. The Coyotes have punched their ticket. 14-point win against the Aggies. That game concluding earlier today. And now just one team remains for next weekend's semifinal action as the Jackrabbits await the winner of this contest between the Bison and the Bears. Advantage in DSU, of course, with time winding down, and something you do not like to see. Chris Jones requiring assistance towards the cart. A heck of a year for him. Scored a touchdown earlier this season against PC Presbyterian. 62 tackles before today, and a lot of football still ahead of him.
One of their leaders on the team, starting safety.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we'd like to caution you about the dangerous winter weather conditions that are occurring outside the Fargodome.
Praying for a quick recovery.
So North Dakota State, first down and goal. The ball will be spotted right inside the 10, close to the 9. And what a matchup potentially a week from today. Mark Gronowski, Cam Miller, the rivalry, the atmosphere, and most importantly, the stakes for a chance to go to Frisco and a chance to win another national championship for the Jackrabbits. It would be 3 in a row for NDSU, their first since 2021. Incredible run in the last decade. The Bison wanting to punch one more in to seal the deal.
It's also the NFL potential. We talk about both quarterbacks, NFL potential.
Pitu off left tackle, down at the 7.
Even going to South Dakota State on their side a little bit. Think about the guys on those teams that have gone to the NFL. Even go to last year, Mason McCormick, offensive lineman in the NFL. I mean, Gronowski is a high NFL draft prospect. And on this team as well, there are guys who are going to go to the league. Greg Zabel, left tackle, number 74, another NFL prospect. So big stakes for the game, but also for their futures.
Big stakes for the champion of next week's Dakota Marker contest, perhaps afterwards. Pitu still on his feet and shoved backwards near the 2. Barika Pitu has done a great job today. Got to start with the injury to Marty Brown. Kim Stanley prevented the touchdown. It'll be 3rd and goal right before the 2-minute timeout. There was some movement on the defense.
Offside defense, number 94 in the neutral zone, causing the reaction from the lineman half the distance. 3rd down.
That's an extremely intelligent play by Cam Miller. There was no play that was going to be run. The clock was running, was going to go towards that 2-minute timeout. So what Cam Miller does is say, let's get free yards. Right, this is the 2-minute timeout. Let's get free yards. Let's do a hard count, make them jump off sides, and get a yard and a half closer than where we were.
Veteran quarterback in a 17-point lead. The 2-minute timeout right now. Back here inside the Fargodome. FCS quarterfinal action continues. After the 2-minute timeout, 3rd down and goal coming for the Bison. Samacho, Roy Philpott, Lauren Sisler. Then to the running back. Miller hands it off, and an easy touchdown for NDSU. fullback Truman Wermeyer paved the way for Barika Penu.
Barika Penu is the hometown kid from Fargo, but his parents are from Nigeria. His mom's name is Endurance. His dad's name is Prince. He's running with endurance and running like a king. Barika Penu was told, at least we heard he was going to have a big day by his coaches. He's shown up big.
Extra point up and good. First points of the second half come with 1:57 to go in the fourth quarter. And our new score, 31-7, the 2 seed at home, holding serve. Now we think back to some of the great coaches we've seen in Fargo. The legend himself, Craig Bohl, go back to 2003. In a 10-year career, they won 3 national championships. It went from Bohl to Chris Kleiman. 4 national titles here in Fargo. And from Coach Kleiman, who went to Kansas State, it was Matt Ince that won 2 more national titles. And now to Tim Polasek. He told us the story yesterday. It was the great Craig Bohl that got him into coaching at this level. A phone call back in 2006. He had just finished the day logging in Wisconsin. Busch Light was in hand. Coach Bohl called him and said, "When can you come to Fargo?" And he said, "Coach, I'll be there in 8.5 hours." He said, "Sit tight, young man. We'll see you on Monday, but I want you to come here. I want you to be an assistant coach." Polasek told us the story. He did. He accepted the job. He was paid about $6,000 a year. And for the first 90 days in Fargo, he slept at the team facility on the floor to show his passion, his enthusiasm, and his respect for Craig Bohl and the Bison football program. His salary quickly doubled from 6 to 12. And from there, he ends up being the head coach at North Dakota State years later, Lauren.
Yeah, and Roy, he really wasn't the favorite amongst the team to take over for Matt Ince as the head coach. It was the offensive coordinator, Tyler Roll, they were looking at. So how did Polasek really win this team over? He said he read the room, just leaned in. He got with his team leaders position by position, sought out their vision, answered all their questions, and it just took an authentic approach, and you could see that with the tears in his eyes yesterday as he was sharing his emotions on and off the football field. And whether that's, on the field or grilling 700 wings, which he says he likes to do often for his football team, or taking them golfing, he's the same guy and wants to push the team forward and make a difference in these guys' lives.
Roble on the reverse. So Tim Polasek was a logger while he was a Division III football coach. He had to have the second job to make ends meet. That's the kind of dedication he was showing then. I think Craig Bohl fell in love with him, thinking, wait a second, this guy sounds like he should be here with us. And the results on the field speak for themselves.
You leave out the best part of stories sometimes, Roy. You said he called and said, "I'll be there." No, first Coach Bohl said, "Logger, I'm looking for the football coach." And he said, to your point, "Well, Coach, I got to make some money. I'm coaching D3, so I log on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I do my scouting for coaching on Tuesdays and Thursdays."
Third down and long after the tackle by Metz. NDSU was threatened about a quarter midway through that first half in this game. It was 14-7. Grant Olson, the defensive play caller for the Bison, said that's enough, and the defense followed suit. Mercer never able to find an offensive rhythm, but a great year, their first SoCon championship, 11 wins, plenty of talent that should be returning in the coming seasons, and a first-year head coach in Mike Jacobs. Honestly, he gets it. We had great conversations with him, Anthony Soto, the offensive coordinator, and Jamal Brown on defense this week. But it'll be the Bison moving on.
Jacobs, the conference coach of the year, to your point, took his team a long way. Unfortunately, it ends versus North Dakota State.
And let the conversations begin. The Dakota Marker rematch in the semis at noon on ABC a week from today, as North Dakota State defeats Mercer 31-7 in the quarterfinal. And a resounding victory for the Bison, the friendly confines of the Fargodome.
Great victory for North Dakota State, but we know for them the journey does not end here. There are too many championship banners on that wall. Got a big matchup next week versus a big-time rival.
The defending national champions, South Dakota State, are coming to town a week from today. And the stakes could not be any higher. Winner of that game advances to Frisco in the FCS National Championship Monday night, January 6th in primetime on ESPN. 31-7, our final score. Quite a performance for Cam Miller and the NDSU Bison defense, as NDSU advances to the semifinals, the win against Mercer. And we say good afternoon from Fargo.